really appreciate the support. Before we get started, I'm gonna introduce our co-founder of the Canadian Frontline Nurses. But first and foremost, what I want to say is, for those who might not agree with us on certain things, if you don't understand, this is a spiritual battle.
That's right.
And we've been suppressed for many years. You got censorship, you got free speech, and now you got suppression of Christians. You might not agree with me, but under the law of Canada, I have a right to say the Lord's Prayer.
That's right.
And you can join me if you like. If not, that's your right as well.
Right on.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Woo!
So, put your hands together for our co-founder of the Canadian Frontline Nurses, Sarah.
Thank you. Hello, freedom fighters!
Hey!
Thank you so much for being here with us today on this windy waterfront. So for those of you who don't know us, we are the Canadian Frontline Nurses, and we're proud advocates for medical freedom.
Right on!
Our mission is to unite as many nurses as possible, educate the public, and bring the ethics back into health care.
Yeah.
We envision a future with a bigger focus on preventative care, natural treatments, and treating the person as a whole.
Yeah.
So as Cindy said, my name is Sarah. I'm the co-founder. I've been a nurse since 2004, and I worked in a nursing home for the greater part of my career, also a little bit in the community with kids. And when you work in a nursing home, it's really easy to see that the government doesn't really care about these people.
No.
I don't know if y'all know, but residents in nursing homes get half the money prisoners do for daily from the government for food.
Oh my.
Yeah. So when the government said they were shutting down the entire economy for these same people, a big red flag went up into my head. And I thought everybody would feel the same. So I went to work thinking it was a big joke. And unfortunately, nobody felt like me. And that was really disappointing. So I started voicing my opinion, and people are kind of shutting me down. And when they started implementing all these mandates, I was actually chief steward of the union. So I called the union and I told them, hey, like, they're disrespecting all the residents' rights. You know, when we come into the building, all the residents' rights are right there. They were all being disrespected, and so were ours. So I told them, like, what do we do about this? And they told me, Sarah, don't you care about your residents? So I knew I was in big trouble. So I stayed quiet for a while. I'm a single mom of 3 in a lot of debt. And I was scared. So I just stayed quiet to see what was going on. But as time passed by, actually within a week, one of my residents died of a heart attack. She was one of those people. And you know, nursing home is the last stop for these people. And their loved one is really the only thing that keeps them alive. And so this resident was the type of resident that, you know, when I came in the morning, I had to call her daughter to know what time her daughter was coming in, because every 5 minutes when she asked me when her daughter was coming, you know, I had to have an answer because she'd have anxiety and she had heart problems. And these residents didn't really understand what this pandemic was about. So she died of a heart attack within a week. As if that wasn't enough. You know, I could see, like, families help us a lot in nursing homes. A lot of these residents don't actually want to eat from us. They want their families to come in and show them they care, and so they felt abandoned. So a lot of residents struggled with failure to thrive, and they were giving up on their lives. And to make things worse, they were testing us and 3 housekeepers tested positive with no symptom, and they shut down the entire building. And so now these residents who can't even see their families have to stay alone in their rooms. And some of them had supposedly behaviors. They wanted to come out of their rooms, so what would they do? They would just medicate them. And also, some of them were trying to get out with their walkers. A lot of language barriers, they have dementia, whatever. They just want to get out. They don't even have to have any of that. And they would take their walkers away. And next thing you know, they had to sit all day. They were having more falls. They were losing their capacity of ambulating. You know, falls can mean broken hips, bed rest, pressure sores, and death. And so it was really detrimental to them. And I came to a point where I was sick of it. And I thought, I really don't care if I lose my job. I didn't sign up for this. You know, I needed my integrity. Yes.
Yeah.
And my mental health deteriorated a lot too because I wasn't standing in my truth. So I decided to speak up. This was October 2020. And yeah, as I spoke up, all my fears came true. Lost both of my jobs. I'm under 2 investigations by the college. Actually, they want to discipline me. We've been defamed nationally on the media, called domestic terrorists by some. Lots of death threats since. I even had the RCMP come knock at my door. But that didn't stop us. We've been activating, advocating, and doing activism for clients and haven't stopped.
Right on.
Thank you. And so, but one thing we realize is that, you know, advocating and activism is not everything. You know, if you keep fighting for your freedom, it means that you're not free, and we are still free today. So it's important that we stop. Well, we don't want to completely stop, I'll tell you what we can do in a minute. But it's time to start creating the world that we do want to see. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing about that. But before I go there, as I said, you know, we still have to keep fighting. How can we do that? We have to remember, nobody's coming to save us. It starts with us.
Yep.
We have the power within. So we need to make sure, yes. So we need to make sure, I strongly, most of us strongly believe that the mandates will be back in September, October. It's just a matter of time. It's going to be rolling lockdowns until we're all broke and have nothing left. And, you know, we're going to have nothing and be happy, as they said.
Yep.
And that they're talking about your kids too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So it's important that, you know, you don't comply. You could, yes, come to these get-togethers, make connections, build community, but make sure that when you go home, you don't wear a mask to go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Exactly.
Please, the mandates are illegal, right? Another thing that is important that we do is that we vote with our dollars. Don't go to those stores that are discriminating against us. You know, go to those small businesses that are supporting us, that are about to lose everything, because once they're gone, we won't have a choice but to go to those corporations that are discriminating against us. So that's very important. And another thing is, we need to keep, make the people that are taking our rights away accountable.
Yes.
So Canadian Frontline Nurses, we were in the news last week. We have 2 defamation cases, one against the Canadian Nurses Association and another against news outlet out in BC. And so we are going to hold them accountable.
Good.
Absolutely. We're going against the College of Nurses for investigating us, and we are going to eventually investigate them. Yes. We are going to reopen the cases with our unions and our employers. And I don't know if you all know, but we were part of one of the organizations that was part of the convoy in Ottawa. Have you guys heard of that convoy? Yes. And so we were the first organization to actually go against the government for the Emergency Act. So we have that in place too. So it's important to keep these people accountable. But then apart from that, we need to start creating the world that we do want to see. And so Canadian Frontline Nurses, we've started a new directory. We obviously don't want to go back into the system.
Right.
And we want to create a new parallel healthcare. And so we're doing that by creating a parallel healthcare. So how do we do that? We want to empower nurses to come out of the system and join us. We want to bring care back into our communities. We want to get you away from hospitals and nursing homes.